should happen. I decide, yes, if they give me what I expect and I can do the job with that, I will do it.
All right.
Maybe those alterations are meant for that. That was my initial paper.
The other issue is in relation to a dump site allowance paid to you. The date is 26th of May 2021. The voucher number is PV211165. Now it says being payment of dump site allowance as consultant for the second quarter as per request attached. It says $80,000 for landfill maintenance. That's the description. What is the amount that you are to be paid as dump site allowance?
As you can see, I think I have different amounts attached.
Yes.
And each of these depend on the time
Yes.
of the contract.
Yes.
So if this time I feel I'm supposed to have more because of the conditions in that place, I will add it up.
No, I don't get that part. Can you please repeat that part?
Anytime I am entering into a contract, I
Yes.
evaluate my potentials and my problems that I will foresee, and through that, I'll make up my suggestion.
No, I ask this because the payment that you will receive seems to vary. And the dump site allowance I have seen for your contract on the 14th of January 2021, it says telephone allowance 15,000, dump site allowance 30,000.
That was the time of that contract.
Okay.
Maybe it's going to be a different one in another year contract,
Okay.
as everything goes up in and out every time.
Okay, let's revisit the dates again. The voucher payment voucher PV 211165. The date is 26th of May 2021, and your contract that I've made reference to is 14th of January 2021. So it's not even after a year's contractual period. So I'm not sure whether you can shed more light on that.
The only light I can set on it is not the same contract. Any single contract has come with its merits and demerits.
Okay. So what are these merits and demerits of these contracts?
The time.
The time, 6 months?
Factor. Even 3 months can change.
Yes. So can you please provide us with this particular contract that with respect to your dump site allowance of $80,000 is?
Can I?
Provide that contract, because we haven't seen that contract in this.
I've not seen that contract.
You have not seen that contract?
No.
But we haven't seen it in your file, because all the contracts you have been given. Have you ever been given a 6-month contract?
Have I?
Ever been given a 6-month period contract?
I think so I was. I cannot remember fully.
I ask this question because all the contracts we have in your file spans a period of 1 year. We haven't seen a contract that you have been offered that has a period of 6 months.
I'm not going to argue whether it has happened or it has never happened.
Yes.
But from hindsight, I cannot remember which one is 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. I can't.
All right.
And I don't have the papers on me.
Now, have you ever been owed an outstanding balance of payment?
K.M.C. owing me or me owing them?
K.M.C. owing you.
Maybe yes, but I can't remember which time. But I have never owed K.M.C. a penny.
Mr. Kanyi, are you entitled to gratuity? Gratuity?
What?
Gratuity.
Grant duty?
Yes.
No.
You're not entitled to it?
No.
We have a letter that you've written on the 14th of February 2022, and you were requesting for.
Yes.
Why was that?
I may request it because I don't know the system in this country. I may request it after my contract finishes. And if that finishes, they said, yes, I'm entitled to a gratuity, and I apply for it.
But you already said that you're not entitled to it.
That was my knowledge at the time.
When did you know that you're not entitled to it?
Well, I can't remember when, but since I know it, I am not entitled. That was the time I knew I'm never even entitled to make any pensions and so forth. But I'm also entitled to be paid a gratuity. That's why I applied at the time.
Were you paid when you requested?
Yes, I'm paid.
You were paid the gratuity when you requested for it?
I am.
Were you paid when you asked for it?
Yes, I think I was paid.
Did you return the money?
To return it?
Yes.
I've never been asked to return it.
No, but now you know you're not entitled to it.
I didn't know still now whether I'm not entitled.
No, you had already said it. You already answered the question.
No, I asked the question because that was my first thought, but it doesn't stand anymore.
Yes, but you had answered the question. You had already said that before, at the time of applying, you did not know. Now that you know, you had said clearly that it is within your knowledge that you're not entitled.
If I don't know something today, and I know it tomorrow, and I apply it that day, my knowledge of not knowing it yesterday
was in the past.
Was the past.
But that doesn't rub out the fact that the money you were paid for, you are not entitled to it. That's the difference.
I at the time thought I don't know. When I was known to that, I could not get any pension, but I could get any time my contract finished, I have a grant duty to be paid, and I apply. And that's the time I got it.
You were given interest in 2019, 10th April 2019. Mm-hmm. The amount is $180,000. Do you recall this? $80,000. 180.
To where?
Impressed.
To where?
You know what an impress is?
Impress, I cannot remember.
Do you know what an impress is?
I know they give you money to spend on a piece of things or whatever activities you have.
Yes.
Yes.
So do you recall being given an amount of $180,000 by way of interest?
I cannot remember.
Now let me give you the letter. It may help you recollect your thoughts.
Yeah.
That is the management writing to you on grounds that you did not retire, the impress was given to you.
I cannot remember this.
Yes, but now you have seen the letter. The management wrote to you, and the body of the letter is that you were given an impress of $808,000 and you did not retire this amount. It reads, Director of Administration to Mr. Mustapha Kanjura, Overseer of Compliance. It says 10th April 2019, the date. Subject unretired impressed. After a report by Finance Manager 2 concerning the above caption, I hereby write to you that to ask you to retire the sum of $180,000 not later than Monday, the 15th of April 2019, being impressed, issued to you for food for disaster team. Your cooperation is hereby solicited. Signed by Dembo S.N. Sane. Do you recall receiving this letter?
I never recall having this money or even this letter. I've never recalled.
Do you recall at any point retiring any amount of money that was given to you?
I cannot recall.
Have you been suspended from work?
Work suspended?
Yes.
Not to my knowledge.
Dembo S.N. Sane, acting for the Chief Executive Officer, wrote a letter to you on the 30th of April 2019 for suspension from work. It says, following your unruly behavior towards the acting Deputy Chief Executive Officer at his office today, the 30th of April 2019, in the presence of Director of Services and Ward Councillor for Kololi, Honorable Peter Mendy, I am directed to suspend you from work for 2 weeks without salary with immediate effect. You are to resume for work on the 22nd of May 2019. However, you are hereby advised to desist from such practices. Any future recurrence will attract stiffer disciplinary actions. You don't recall this?
I don't.
So you have never gone on suspension?
Well, he may write it, but I've never received it, and I'm on contract. I cannot be suspended.
That's not the question. So have you ever gone on suspension aside from this? Do you recall ever being asked to stay home because you have been suspended?
Not at K.M.C.
Not at K.M.C.
Yes.
Now, you ever wrote for any of your staff or people that work under you to be suspended?
Did I?
Have you ever written with respect to requesting for any of your staff or people that work under you to be suspended?
I may, yes.
You may?
Yes.
Why do you think that you may have done that?
Why?
Why do you believe that you may have done that?
There are a lot of issues pertaining to late coming, and I want to stamp it out, or unruly behaviors, certain things that you do which are not in line. I may.
We have a letter that you have written to the CEO, and the Lord Mayor has copied. 3rd June 2019, the subject is recommendation for suspension for the entire team involved. And I am recommending the suspension of the entire team members that works on Friday, 31st May 2019 at Fajikunda Tailor Shop as licensed revenue collectors for tailoring exercise. Naomi Cham, Zakaria Kamara, Lamin Kamara, Ismaila Silla, Babu Jame, Mustapha Danso. The suspension should take with immediate effect without salary for 3 months, commencing 4th of June 2019 to 5th of August 2019. The team should be redeployed to any other department that is not related to revenue collection, such as finance. All council properties, motorbikes, receipt books, cash collected, invoice, etc. must be returned to appropriate authority immediately. You recall these names?
I can remember that.
How is it possible that when it is in relation to things you have done, you can't remember affecting you directly, but you can remember when it is about others?
Council, for the second time I'm telling you, whatever I said here is what I think. If I don't remember anything, I don't remember. I have 5 kids. I cannot remember their date of birth, especially date, month or so. I can remember some of them, 5th, 10th, 8th, but I can't remember which month, up to today. And that's not even anything. That's the scope of my brain.
Mr. Kany,
yes.
If you are shown their date of birth, then you will recollect your thoughts. Like I have shown you evidence of your suspension.
Yes, and that's why I remember.
Hear me out. I have shown you evidences. When you say you can't recall, I show you evidence, and I show you the evidence. But you still repeat that you can't recall. There's a difference. There's a difference when you are asked a question and you say you cannot recall, but when you are presented with the facts and the evidence, then that should reignite your thoughts. Like when I had read this letter that you had written, calling for the suspension of about 5 individuals or 6 individuals, I didn't even show you the document.
You read?
I read it.
I understand what you read, and I
you
trust you what you read.
Yes.
So on that basis, I could answer the question.
That's impressive. I believe that will help in other cases as well.
Very well.
Moving forward, but when I read, it will help you to reignite your thoughts as well.
Good.
Now, overseeing the position, but coming back to these suspensions, were they suspended eventually?
I just made my recommendations.
You didn't follow up?
I didn't follow it.
You didn't follow up?
Yes.
Were they under you? They were working under you?
This particular incident involved a journalist.
Yes.
Made a report that he got K.M.C. staffs. They brought light trying to cheat. And I was called upon to go there with immediate effect to see what is happening while they were collecting license for these sewing machines.
Yes.
And when that happened, I rushed to the place and found both the people on those staff you are talking, and their manager there.
Yes.
So we established between ourselves there that this is not acceptable.
Yes.
And later I made this recommendation.
Mr. Kanyi, you had, in 2018, you were overseeing the position of compliance director. You recall this?
Yes.
Was it on contract or as a staff?
I think it's as a contract because I was never employed.
Says the letter you have, I am directed to inform you that you have been selected to oversee the position of a compliance director with effect from 1st November 2018. In lieu of the above, you are expected to carry out the following responsibilities while overseeing the position. And this goes on. But it did not say whether you were on contract or you were appointed as a staff.
Okay. Let me take you back, as we said.
Yes.
Maybe I was working on a contract on certain issues.
Yes.
And the contract is not yet finished.
Yes.
And this particular job or something happened for
Yes.
me to be redeployed to finish off my contracts.
All right. It says that your job or responsibilities will include the following. Is that my words? I'm paraphrasing. It says, receives, records, and investigate complaints from the public and staff regarding violations of municipal codes. Initiate contacts with residents, businesses, representatives, and other parties to explain the nature of incurred violations and to encourage compliance with municipal codes. Prepare notices of violations or non-compliance and citations according to applicable codes and regulations. Are you familiar with the applicable codes and regulations?
I don't know whether I'm familiar with it or not, but I can assure you I don't pay much attention to what is always written there. I pay attention to what they tell me to do at a particular time.
Is one and the same? What they tell you to do is what is written?
Yes.
Yes. So what they tell you to do is what is written in your appointment.
Maybe because of the detailed nature of the job.
Yeah.
I was given some specific things to do at a specific time.
Again,
and I concentrate on those ones.
Let me repeat and rephrase again. Do you know the codes and regulations that they are referring to?
No, I don't.
How would you execute these functions?
I will only execute these functions according to how I understand it.
Do you agree that this particular position as a director of compliance, it requires specific skills? If you are not familiar with the codes and regulations that are being referenced, that are directly applicable to your employment, it will be very difficult for you to execute your functions.
Well, it may be right to say it may be difficult,
Yes.
but there is always a way around it.
Let me rephrase
And I
again.
can go around it.
Let me rephrase again. It will be difficult. And in fact, it will be impossible to execute your functions without having knowledge of the codes and regulations that bind you. That's dangerous.
Well, it may be as dangerous as you think, but as for me, if I don't know anything, I ask in detail to be explained how to navigate within that area.
What was your qualification in relation to compliance before this appointment?
I have no qualification other than using my foresight thinking.
Your foresight. Now, the last issue, Mr. Kanye, is your statement. That's for today. You will probably release, you will come back subsequently. The last issue is in relation to you had mentioned in your statement of the 24th of May, 2023, where you said, with respect to your education, that I attended St. Augustine's High School and later worked with Gambia Public Transport Company, that's GPTC, and subsequently traveled to the United Kingdom where I further studied. You studied in the UK?
I did not.
Did you write this?
It may be an error there, but I did not say that I studied.
What is your highest academic qualification, Mr. Kanye?
My highest qualification
Yes.
is GCE and private small courses.
Small courses.
Yeah.
Did you present your CV to council at any given point in time?
As I have said, I've not been employed or I've never been at.
As a consultant, did you present your CV to council at any given
No,
time?
I've never issued my CV to anybody in this country for any job.
All right.
Even when I was appointed as advisor to the president on investment.
Let me repeat again my question, which is very specific. Did you present your CV to council when you were appointed as consultant?
As I said, I've never.
Thank you. If there are any questions to this witness?
Yes. Mr. Kanye, when did you, in effect, took over the domicile as the consultant manager?
Madam, I cannot remember exactly which date.
Okay, please note and provide for us exactly when you took over to manage the domicile. And, okay, have you? Now, my second question is, do you have a functional bulldozer at the dump site as we speak?
We have a private functional bulldozer on site.
All right. Now, how much do you rent it per day?
As at now, it is not rent per day.
Okay.
We have the K.M.C had a contract with the owner for dressing the site and managing the dump site.
How much is the
That is, we are in its last days, 600,000 per month.
600,000 per month?
Yes.
Okay.
And the dressing should be not less than 10 days.
Okay. So this is 600,000 per month for the dressing of the dump site.
Dressing and the upkeeping, i.e. fire component, recycling,
Okay.
and maintaining access
Okay.
for the trucks to drop their contents.
All right. So now, how much fuel? Because it is in evidence that fuel is not part of the contract that is signed. I stand to be corrected.
You are right. The fuel is not
Part of
on the burden of
on the 600,000 per month.
only 600,000, whether they use gasoline or petrol, whatever, is at their expense, the owner of the contract. And I don't know how much he gives to his mechanics who comes there.
No, let me get it. Does K.M.C supply fuel to
The K.M.C doesn't supply any fuel to the owner of that machine.
So it's the owner that provides fuel.
Fuel.
So the fuel is inclusive in this 600,000.
Exactly.
All right. And now, when did you realize that you were not entitled to receive gratuity payment?
I think it was only after my first contract finished.
Now, aside from this, this contracts for the dump site, did you have any other contracts which are different from this?
Not concurrently with K.M.C.
Yes, I'm just asking. It cannot be concurrent because
Yes.
it is a contract at a time.
Yes.
So, what sort of contracts were they?
As a debt collection,
Yes. Now, for that
Contract.
debt collection, how much were you able to recover for K.M.C?
I don't have the figures of
Please
what I
note
collect.
it, yes, when you come back.
I don't have the figures.
Yes, please note it so that you could help us have an idea.
Excuse me, can I make a point?
Yes, the debt collection.
I wouldn't know how much is collected because I don't touch money.
Yes,
I
but-
only,
Yes,
excuse me, let me explain. If somebody I went to and he may give me a check and I will come straight, deposit it and inform the people. Some of them will tell me, we'll go and pay tomorrow. And they will go and pay. Somebody will tell me.
Yes, Mr. Yes, I understand all that.
Because I don't
no, it's
receive
just-
any commission.
No, it is not about you receiving money or no, you not touching money. We are interested in the record, not what you have touched or the money you have received. Because you were given an assignment. And when you were given an assignment, I presume the assignment was very explicit. K.M.C is owed this much. That is what I'm asking for. How much, as at the time they gave you the contract to do debt collection, you of course knew how much debt you are supposed to collect. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then for the ones you have taken effort to pay, it will be recorded, correct?
Not from my end, because I do not have all the
but-
details.
Yes, even if it is not from your end, you can access the records. Because if they pay anything pursuant to what was given to you under your contract mandate, they will be able to know that this is how much you were able to collect as debt.
I have never asked for it, and I
Now-
do not see anywhere in KMC
Yes.
where I can access those things, because some of them,
It
even-
cannot be, hang on. It cannot be true, Mr. Kanye, because you signed a contract. Unless this contract is fraudulent, you cannot tell us, with all honesty, that you will not be able to get to any department to give you the information that we want, because it is you that was given the contract.
Madam, with all due respect, I will not sit here and lie to you. It may not sound that I am not keeping the records, because I'm not doing it for any record purpose. I'm doing it because I think I can do it. But I would not lie to anybody that I collect 1 million, 3 million, 4 million, but I don't do it for that. But I will tell the individuals, you go to KMC, you pay for it. And if the records show me that they are paid or partly paid, I still continue with them. Up to this year,
Yes.
I have been going over certain place. GMPC, for example,
Yes.
I have collected money from them to KMC. I don't see the checks. Sometimes I see the check and send it to KMC Finance.
So
but
now-
I don't keep any record.
Yes. Now, what we are asking, please note.
I know.
Yes, please note, you check, you contact the Department of Finance. They will be able to provide you with the records. We cannot ask finance because you were the one that was given the contract. We have facts that we have, but to corroborate those facts, we have to get it from you. So you check, sorry, write it down. Check
I
with
wrote
the
it down.
Yes, with the Department of Finance at the KMC to let you have whatever data, whatever payment you have been able to do for KMC, to collect on their behalf by way of, you understand, your influence or your follow-ups and all that.
I'll try.
So we know that the contract you were given, there was execution towards that contract that was given to you by KMC.
I'll try.
It is not that you will try. You will bring the information for us.
No, if
Because
I...
it is, no,
if-
listen, because it is a contract that was given to you by KMC, and you told us it is, and it is on the record. All right? Thank you. Yes, Council.
Yes, there are no questions for
So,
this witness.
yes,
We'll
one
call
last
back.
question. Aside also from this debt collection, are there any other contracts that you wish to tell us that you have done for KMC? The ones you can recall, because we have the facts. The ones you can recall.
I cannot recall any.
All right.
I've been to the markets
Okay.
that I know,
Okay.
both Serakunda and Bakote Fish Market,
Okay.
working specific tax.
Okay.
Of
So that
collect-
one also was a different contract.
No, it may be within the same contracts.
It may be.
Yes.
Okay. We will
There's
check
no
that.
specific contract for me to go to Serakunda.
Okay.
My going to Serakunda will include this revenue generation, regeneration.
Now, the other question is, who is the person that is given the contract for this dressing of the dump site? Do you know?
Yes, I once attended the first signing of that contract.
And who is the
Finance,
who is the
finance committee, I think, or establishment of
yes.
contract committee.
Who is the contractor that is given?
Contract committee. The contractor is AMCC.
AMCC.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kanye. Thank you so much for coming. We have asked you to bring, to provide us with some certain information. Please, we expect to have this information by Thursday.
Thursday.
Yes, this Thursday.
I'll try.
And we will call you if we need to call you to verify certain issues.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so
Can
much.
I just give you my intention because I'm traveling to UK for about 2 to 3 weeks.
All right.
Anytime from now.
No, any time is not time, but when exactly are you traveling?
I have to wait for certain things, and I don't know when I will complete them. But I am sure.
Please write to the registrar
All right.
indicating the time you are departing
I will.
and the time you are coming back.
Yes, when I start.
And endeavor to hand over the documents we have asked you by Thursday.
I will try.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Witness. You may kindly take your seat, Mr. Witness. For continuation of your testimony before this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters, may I remind you once again that you are still under oath before I hand you over to Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I hand over the witness to you for us to proceed.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning, ma.
Mr. Njai,
Morning.
you are welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council, can we proceed?
Yes, thank you very much. Sanjay, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, I call you so that you can help us with respect to some payment vouchers. First is in relation to payments made to Kanjura Kani,
Right.
Kan Mustapha Kani.
Okay.
And also some of the vouchers in relation to the payment of monies for the purchase of spare parts for D8, D9. Do you recall this?
Right.
You were the substantive Director of Finance for how long? And from which period to which period? Do you recall?
Yep, 2018 to 2020.
20?
2018 and 2019, sorry. Up to March 2020.
How about 2020?
2020 up to March.
2020 March.
Yes.
And you had a Director of Finance in 2020 March?
Yes, we have a new Director of Finance.
And that was?
Dr. Keta.
And he won that?
I think so.
Did you take over as well, overseeing the office when he was suspended?
Yes, I was overseeing when he was suspended.
And what is the period? I just want to know so that I know the vouchers that I have to.
Around July 2021 to October 2023, I think.
Okay. Let's first start with the payment to Mr. Kanye.
Yeah.
Do you recall this issue? The issue of the D8, D9.
Very well.
What can you tell us about that?
Well, the issue of the D8 and D9 was a bulldozer provided by the Office of the President to the Council
Yes.
at the time
Yes.
when we were having issue of dressing the Bakore dump site.
Yes.
And we've been spending a lot of money hiring. And when we get this one at gratis, we feel that will really help and maintain, reduce our expenditure.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it's been operating and then supervised by Kanjura, who maybe transact
Yes.
the upcoming of this bulldozer to the council. He been overseeing the bulldozer at the dump site. There was a time when he wanted to maintenance the bulldozer.
Yes.
Yes, and then, in fact, the first thing they requested was an impress of 1 million was
Yes.
requested, and then intending to transport the machine to Dakar.
Yes.
with other officials, with kind of per diem, which I turned down automatically. I said, that cannot be possible.
You turned down what?
The impressed and then the traveling as well to Dakar.
Impressed.
Yeah. So I told them we cannot give an impress of 1 million, and which you are going to Dakar, that means you are doing international procurement, which is illegal.
Yes.
and not correct. So whatever we can do, let the technical department itself.
Let's get it one at a time. What was illegal?
Carrying cash to Dakar to buy parts or buy goods for the council.
It's unlawful.
Internationally, it's international procurement, and it has to follow the procedure.
Well, and what are these procedures?
The procedure is tendering.
Okay.
Yes.
Was that done?
Well, no. It's when I rejected the impressed.
Yes.
It was a big issue, and then.
What do you mean a big issue?
Like people were thinking that I'm trying to sabotage, and I told them no.
Who was thinking that you were trying to sabotage?
Kanjura himself was not happy with that.
Okay.
Then I told them that he has to go back to his department, which is the Department of Service.
Yes.
Let them do the due process, like proper request.
Yes.
Specify the parts required by the mechanics.
Right.
And then forward it to the procurement. Let the procurement do the necessary things.
Yes.
And come to finance for us to facilitate the payment.
Was that done?
Yeah, that was done.
No, that was not done.
What was done?
That was not done. The due process was still not followed.
Pardon?
Do you agree that the due process was still not followed? You raised genuine concerns.
Well,
those concerns were never met.
Yes, you can say so.
No, again,
Okay.
it's not about me saying that.
Yes.
I do my findings,
Yes.
and I present it to you.
Yes.
Again, feel free
Yes.
to provide, just hear me out, to provide clear evidence
Yes.
that probably will be contrary to what we have.
Yeah.
It's for the commissioners to hear you and then make determination. But what I have, or what we have as lawyers, is that what your concerns were, they were never met. Is that true or not?
On which sense?
What did you say earlier regarding the procedure to follow?
Yeah.
There was supposed to be tender.
Yes. No. Procurement methods is determined by the value of the procurement.
Let's roll again.
Yes.
The tape again. What was your advice? On what basis did you reject?
The basis I reject is giving cash or 1 million impress,
And why is that?
because that one is not secured.
And why? No, you had said
It's not-
something.
it's
You
not-
said
it's
you
not-
said it is not in line with procurement.
It's not in line with the procurement procedure, yes.
Exactly, because there has to be international tender.
And procurement procedure, you can have tender, you can have RFQ.
No, hear me out. There has to be tender. These were awards.
Not specifically strictly tendered, but you have 2 type or 3 type of procurement. You have RFQ, you have tendering.
Mr. Sheriff,
Yes.
Njai,
Uh-huh.
are you familiar with procurement methods?
Very well.
What are the procurement methods?
You have RFQ, request
Yes.
for quotation.
Yes.
You have single sourcing.
Yes.
You have tendering.
Yes. What type of tendering do you have?
Tendering have thresholds.
Yes. What type of tendering do you have?
Tendering, you can have open tender.
Yes.
You can have restricted tendering.
Yes. Or you can have open international tender.
You can have international tendering.
Now, these are procurement methods.
Yes.
Was any followed in this case?
Any?
Was any method followed in this case?
In this case, the thresholds were within RFQ.
Was RFQ followed?
Yes.
RFQ was followed.
Yes.
3 quotations were
Provided.
requested.
Yes.
All right. And these companies are, or these dealers?
I can't remember name.
You
I can remember only Ngolan, the winner of the selected contractor.
Ngolan is the?
Was the selected contractor? I can't remember.
By
the procurement.
By the procurement?
Yes.
Okay, let me give you what I have here regarding the documentation relation to Ngolan.
Yep.
We have the voucher, the
Yes.
payment voucher.
Yes.
In relation to, sorry, the number is PV190378. That's Ngolan Construction and Tendering and Trading Enterprise. We have the subsequent GPPA forms attached to it. So let me give it to you. And there's a memo as well for the maintenance of the bulldozers. A letter, request for labor cost. Please go through it. You're familiar with?
Very well. Yes, yes.
What is that payment? What are those documents about? Just for your record.
Yeah. This payment is the voucher for payment of cost of maintenance of transportation of bulldozer.
Yes.
D8 and D9 from Dakar. Okay. And then you have 2 invoices attached here, or 3 invoices. I think it's a copied one. It's photocopied. You have 3 invoices attached.
Yes.
And then you have a request from the Director of Services.
Yes.
It was approved.
Yes.
And then request for the labor of the cost of the labor.
Yes. Please go ahead.
I think, and then you have a request for transportation by
Yes.
Mustapha Kanjura. You have a bank transfer as the transfer payment of the money to the account.
Yes.
And then you have job certification,
Yes.
certifying the job has been done.
Yes.
You have the receipts acknowledging receiving the money.
Yes.
So that's it.
Now, do you have the 3 quotations there?
Yes.
And what are these companies or businesses?
I think you have,
Ngolan Construction is one.
yes, Jody Akidi.
Come again?
I think Ngolan is there. You
Yes.
have Akidi
Okay.
Trading.
Yes.
And then you have here another one, Auto Parts. I don't know which, this one, the copy is not very clear.
Come again?
Auto Parts.
What?
Auto parts.
Is that all?
It's auto parts. The first name is not very clear, but auto parts, general, spare parts.
Yes.
All goes wrong.
Now let me, is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
Can I please have that? Yes. Contract file, the contract file. Let me give you the voucher number 190469. The amount is $452,504 in relation to being cost of spare parts for the repairing of bulldozer D9 as per the number attached is 000-56146 attached. So. Yes. What is that voucher about?
This voucher is the specification for the spare parts to be procured for the repairing of the bulldozer.
Yes.
Yes.
And then was that also subject to RFQ?
Yes.
Please tell us the three quotations.
The three quotations here are Golan.
Yes.
You have okay. You have Saraba spare parts.
Saraba spare parts.
No.
Please, the next one.
Pardon?
The next one.
The next one is Mansour spare part, I believe. Yeah, Mansour spare parts. Auto parts.
Where the request for quotation sent to these three?
Well, that's procurement's procedures.
No,
that's
Mr.
procurement's.
Mr. Jai, you approve payment together with the CEO.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
On what basis do you approve payment?
Yes.
On what basis must you approve payment?
Most basis when the documents are provided, the necessary documents.
Exactly. Don't forget you had rejected.
A request for impress.
You had rejected Mr. Kanyi's first request.
Yes.
Based on the fact that the requirements were not met.
Yes.
Is that not correct?
Yes.
So you know you have an obligation as a finance director or substantive overseeing that position to make sure that the requirements are met before payments are being authorized. Is that not the case?
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
Of course, I have agreed.
So it is on that basis that I am asking whether requests were sent to these three.
I'm not overseeing the procurement official.
No, you're overseeing the director of finance's position.
Perfect.
And so based on that, you should have paid Mr. Kanyi immediately when he came.
No.
If you had no responsibility to make sure that all the requirements are met, just pay him when he comes.
Well,
do you understand the point?
yes.
Do you understand the logic? You would have paid him when he initially came. Why would you reject him? Your job is just make payment, just pay. But you did not do that. You told him categorically clear that the requirements were not met. Is that not the case?
Yep.
That procedures were not followed. Is that not the case?
Yep.
Sir?
Yeah.
Is that not the case?
That's the case.
So let's just follow, make sure to see whether the requirements were met the second time when payments were done. Was there a request sent?
That means the request to be sent is under the office of the Special Procurement Unit.
Was request sent?
No. For me, what I'm needed is
in the file you have was request sent.
Let me have the proper request. Let me have the three quotations. Maybe they are in order.
Yes.
Let me see the request is approved.
Yes.
And the order, job order, and the
Let me read to you what the law says. Procedures for request for quotation.
I understand.
No, you is for the benefit
specifically, I understand.
Mr. Njai, can we have decorum, please?
Yes. Okay.
Can we listen to one another?
Okay.
May I proceed, Chair?
Yes.
Mr. Jai, it's for the benefit of everyone. Do you understand that? That is the place why I have to read this. Do you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
It says 608 procurement regulations that quotations shall be requested from at least 3 bidders. The request shall contain a clear statement of the requirements of council as to quality, quantity, terms and time of delivery, as well as any other special requirements, and shall be formed by using GPA Form 101, request for quotations. Bidders shall be given adequate time to prepare their quotations. Each bidder is permitted 1 quotation, which may not be altered or negotiated, and which shall be submitted in written form. Quotations may also be submitted by facsimile or email, or in any other form that leaves a record of the content of the communication and is acceptable to council. Do you see this? Lastly, a purchase order based on GPA Form 102, purchase order shall be placed with the bidder that provided the lowest price responsive quotation. Is that in the document? Are these in the document?
The request for quotation form is here attached.
Yes. You have requests from 3.
Yes.
But the procedure is not followed, right?
Well,
do we agree? Then you can say it's not your job.
I cannot. It should be sent.
Is it sent?
Yes, it should be sent. But I don't think it's my responsibility to go and find out from this supplier whether they have received requests for quotations. As finance, I agree. The procurement officer have to send this request for quotation to the supplier.
When I now ask you the question, whether it's your responsibility or not, you tell the commission it is not my responsibility.
Yes.
Now, when I ask the question whether there's evidence that the quotations were sent, then you can say, well, there is evidence it is sent, or no, there is evidence it is not. There's no evidence, it is not sent. The question now is, going by that document,
yes,
do you have a request for quotation sent?
I am not aware of whether they've been sent or not.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Now, in the document you have, is it there?
The document is here, request for quotation
Is a request sent?
I don't know.
Going by that document. Have you seen any record where requests were sent for three?
Request for quotation is here from field.
Sent.
Field attached. I am not aware of whether it's sent or not.
You don't know whether sent or not?
I don't know.
Now, let's go by your functions. Mr. Njai, you're making this difficult.
No.
You don't have to make it difficult.
Sorry.
No. I'm not saying to me, to you. You make it difficult. You don't have to. The Director of Finance's role.
Yes.
Says, the Director of Finance, section 204, page 10, the financial manual, accounting manual for local government. The Director of Finance is head of the finance department of the council and shall be responsible for the following: overall coordination and control of the accounting functions of council, supervision of accounting staff, production of the annual financial statement. He will be specifically answerable to CEO, general supervision of the accounting functions, proper collections, records, and custody of all revenues of council, examination of payment vouchers to ensure that they have been properly authorized. The allocations, rates, calculations, castings, and signatures of recipients are accurate and are in order, and that the vouchers are properly filed. Do you see this? Yes. So before you authorize any payment, you have to make sure all the necessary steps have been followed. Do you understand it that way? Do you understand it that way?
Very well, I understand it that way.
Now, I will repeat myself. It was on this basis you rejected the first request for payment. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yes.
You would have done the same the second time. Because the second time the documents were still inadequate. Correct?
Well, for me it was adequate.
For you it was adequate?
Yes.
You paid to Nkolan.
Yes.
Is Nkolan a company that deals with mechanical engineering of any kind or spare parts?
Well, for me, I don't know, because it's a contract, it's a contract.
It's a construction company.
Well, construction company can have an engineering company as well.
Can have a?
Engineering knowledge as well.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Do they have an engineering?
Well, as far as he signed the contract with us, I expect him to deliver. Whether
Now,
he have, I don't know.
How much was paid to Nkolan?
Tongolan, I think D8
Altogether?
altogether, I can't
It's
remember.
about $1 million.
I can't remember altogether, yes.
It's about $1 million.
Yes.
It's about $1 million because what you have there, what is the amount?
452.
Let me give you another one, another voucher, PV 190468. What is that voucher for?
This is for the maintenance of bulldozer D8.
And what is the,
It's 491.
yes?
Yes.
Can you please add the two figures?
About 950 something thousand.
900, let's have the exact figure. Please. What is the first amount? The figure? The first voucher?
The first voucher is 452,504.
452,544.
Yeah.
$452,544.
Plus 491,276.
That's the second one?
492,276. 491,276.
The total will be $943,820.
Yep.
Correct?
Yes.
And the initial voucher I gave you, the first one, PV 190378, with respect to an amount of $122,500. Do you recall that? Right? It makes it $1,066,320. Is that within RFQ or above RFQ?
Well, if you combine them together, it's beyond RFQ.
It's beyond RFQ.
But
Why wouldn't you combine them together? It is one dealer.
Practically it's one dealer, but it depends on the request that come to us by the technical department.
No. It's one dealer,
No,
one maintenance.
Yeah.
You're maintaining D8, D9.
Yes.
It's one transaction,
Well,
one issue.
Well.
The issues are not separate. They are not different. Do you agree with that? Do you agree that they are not different?
well, I cannot tell because I'm not technically minded on these machines.
No. You are in charge of finance.
Finance, yes.
Yes.
But if a request comes to me, I'm not the one to decide the procurement method.
You would not give Mr. Kanyi $1 million.
No.
So you know the amount.
Yes.
You would not give Mr. Kanyi $1 million in cash in hand.
Yes.
But you gave Mr. Kanyi on 3 separate payments through Nkolan. It's one and the same thing.
Yeah.
Mr. Njai,
Yes.
what you were avoiding in the beginning, you had a fine way, or they had made you do it in a fine way.
It depends. As finance, it depends what we receive, the documents we receive.
Not true. You knew all these payments were the same payment that you rejected earlier. That is within your knowledge.
But it's paid to a contractor.
Do you agree that it is within your knowledge that these payments that you had paid in 3 installments were the same payment that you rejected earlier?
No.
You did not know.
It's not the same. It's not
You
the
did
same.
not know.
It's not the same.
You did not know it had to do with the maintenance
No,
of
what
the
I'm
DDA.
saying, they are completely different. This one, we are dealing with supplier and then procurement. And procurement is the responsibility of the procurement to choose the method that he use, either RFQ, but if the RFQ and I saw that if one voucher come with 1 million, I will not take it. If one voucher come and say, pay this invoice 1 million, I will never see that. I will not pay it. But if they go and then mention the 2 different machines, They made two separate requests. They are different kind of parts.
Let me read to you.
Well, for me, I can't do much just to help because these machines have been useful for the council.
Mr. Njai,
Yes.
no one is helping anyone.
Yes.
When we serve this public,
Yeah.
no one helps anyone.
Nobody.
Everyone gets paid to do their job.
Yes.
No one is offering free service. So do not use that word again that you are there to help. You are there to make sure what you are paid for at the end of the month. Hear me out. What you are paid at the end of the month is as a result of your work. No help.
That's it.
So let's stick to that. You understand that?
Yeah.
Let me read to you what Mr. Kanye says in his statement. You will know that procurement was not followed. Due process was not followed. The supplier was already identified. Mr. Kanye knew what he wanted to deal with, and he dealt with that individual. He went and in fact withdrew that amount of money from the account. Let me read to you the second page of his statement. He says, second page, having discussed with Lai, but before that, let me start with the first page, the issue of the bulldozer. I understand that the said bulldozers were received from the Army Command in Kenya and are transported to backward dump site at the expense of K.M.C. I made a request for transportation of the said bulldozer through my line directorate, out of service. Next page. The said request approved, and eventually the bulldozers were transferred to backward dump site. The bulldozers were not in very good order when they were transported to the dump site, and they were maintained by the council mechanic, Buba Kujabi. Do you know Buba Kujabi?
Yes.
And started operations. Later, I received the information that one of the bulldozers, D9, has a problem, and I went to the dump site and found the bulldozer being driven into a ditch at the dump site. Later on, a councillor in the person of Peter assisted the council and removed the said bulldozer from the ditch at the expense of council. Afterwards, the D8 also has some mechanical faults and needed to be repaired, during which I was introduced to Babukar Kinte, who further introduced me to some Senegalese mechanics in the name of Lai in the Gambia. You see, there's a chain. They knew who they were dealing with, and then they dealt with that individual. All these three quotations were fake. They were not true. That was why you will not see any request. The list goes on. The Senegalese mechanics in the name of Lai in the Gambia. Having discussed with Lai, I told him to assess the condition of the bulldozers and get back to me, which he did, and said to me that he can fix the bulldozer at the sum of 800,000 each, while cumulatively amounting to 160,000. That's for the two bulldozers, which information I relayed to council through my line directorate. During the discussion, Lai requested to go with the mechanic to his mechanic workshop in Senegal for successful repair, in which information I relayed to council, and was later agreed, and subsequently Lai transported the machine to Senegal. No procurement followed. These papers you guys had, they're all fraudulent. It was just there to tidy up the issue. No procurement followed.
That's news to me.
That cannot be news to you.
Honest.
Mr. Jai, that cannot be news to you because Mr. Kanye came to you and requested for money and you said no. And you said no. The knowledge was with you. You had knowledge of what was going on.
No way.
Fine. Your answer can be no, Mr. Jai.
Yes.
But what I will commend you for is initially saying no to Mr. Kanye.
Yeah.
We would have stuck with that and made sure the right thing was done, that procurement was done. You would have done that. But you had said something here. You said he made a big noise out of it. You said that?
Yes, sir.
And what was the consequence of that noise?
Nothing.
No. The noise made you to approve payments that you initially disregarded. You refused to accept.
But
That's
at
the
least
fact.
at least the relevant authorities has involved. The
Yes.
director of service,
Yes.
the mechanics,
Yes.
the stores,
Yes.
documentation have been
Agreed.
provided.
Agreed, but at least procurement was not followed as well. That's the issue, Mr. Jai. Now,
Sorry, let me just
Yes.
ask Mr. Njai.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Njai, what do you want us to take? I refer you to your statement of the 2nd of May 2023,
Yes.
where you said on the second page of your statement, on the fourth paragraph, you said on the issue of $1 million allegedly paid to Kanjura Kanyi for a trip to Dakar, I have no knowledge about. So which of the evidence do you want us to take? Is it now that you knew how the procurement went and you paid? Or is it that you don't know any of the issues surrounding this 1 million?
No, it was based on the questions asked to me by the investigators. He told me...
That cannot be correct, Mr. Jai.
Because the question was, you gave Kanjura $1 million. Manoko, I am not aware of giving Kanjura $1 million. That's, I have no knowledge of that.
But your statement is saying something different. If you said you have no knowledge about, that cannot be true based on the fact that you knew there was a transaction.
That was a response in negative, ma. That was a response in negative that I didn't give Kanjura $1 million.
That is not our understanding of what is contained in your statement.
That was my understanding.
I wouldn't know what the question was, but what I can read from your statement, this is my understanding. That is why I'm putting it to you.
That's right. That's right. It was a negative response to the question that nothing was given.
But do you think you should have made this statement without elaborating to explain than stopping where you stopped?
Well,
because it would have been dishonest on your side. Just to say, hang on, to say you did not know anything about this 1 million without further explaining. If they tell you that you have given Kanjura 1 million and you say you know nothing about it, and that is full stop, because the following statement you made is totally is not connected totally to the issue of the 1 million. So therefore, it cannot be right if you say you were answering this in the negative. Because the following statement is referring to deleted receipts in the system. So I believe that what you said here cannot be true, because you needed to have expanded on this issue to show that, yes, they said they wanted me to pay 1 million. I said it did not follow due process. Therefore, I cannot pay 1 million, and therefore the issue of 1 million did not arise.
That's why I expanded today. That's why I elaborated more on this today, ma.
Okay. It will be correct that this statement is incorrect.
I have elaborated today, ma.
No, I'm saying, is it correct? Do you still maintain this statement?
Well,
no, it's your evidence. It's not my evidence.
Well, for me, yeah, it was like a negative response.
We take it that you maintain your statement that you have given.
Thank you.
Council, you may proceed.
Yes, we apply to tender payment voucher. Carnegie Municipal Council payment voucher 200283. Oh, sorry, before that. 190378 with its necessary supporting documents. May we please have the other vouchers that you have? Other two vouchers, payment voucher 190468, amount is $491,276. And the third is payment voucher 190469, $452,504. Evidence as an exhibit.
Now, Ms. Njai, before I admit the vouchers, you've talked about the issue of this Golan company, that it might be engaged in other business. Is that what you said?
Well, yes,
That is what you said?
yes.
Okay, we will, when I admit the documents, I will refer you to the document that says otherwise.
Okay. I'm not saying exactly that he's doing that, but I'm saying that he's a contractor, he's willing to provide services and ready to sign a contract with the council. I expect him to deliver.
How many vouchers did you present for admission?
It should be 3, I believe.
Yes. A payment voucher dated the 8th of July 2019 with the description landfill maintenance. The payee is Golan Construction and Trading Enterprise. And attached to this voucher is a bundle of documents. Relative to the transactions that are being paid for in the said voucher. The second voucher is dated the 18th of July 2019, and the payee is Golan Construction and Trading Enterprise. The payment voucher number is PV190469. And also attached to the said payment voucher is a bundle of documents relative to the payment being made on the said voucher. The last payment voucher is dated 18th of July 2019 with PV number PV190458, and attached to this PV are a bundle of documents relative to the payment stated in the referred to voucher. These 3 vouchers are admitted in a bundle as exhibit in evidence, and they are marked as LGC/SN/KMC/004.
As the Commissioner places.
Now, Council, just 1 minute, let me just. Now, please look at, I'm giving you PV190468, and please read out to us type of business. And this is the certificate of suppliers through contractors and registration from GPPA. What does it indicate, Mr. Njai?
Yeah, it indicates registered with the GPPA Public Procurement Authority.
Yes.
Type of business construction only.
Yes.
This certificate is valid 31st day of December 2019.
Yes.
Yes.
So, under the rules, would it have been correct to give this person the contract when the GPPA certificate is very specific? It says construction only. Or is there any waiver that has been presented to you to be able to pay,
Well,
considering what is given
this,
as the certificate?
well, for us, this construction only could refer to any construction.
Yes, but does it entail business in engineering and spare parts maintenance and procurement?
I cannot tell.
You cannot tell.
Honestly.
But is this clear that this Golan is only given to engage in construction only?
Well, based on this, you can reject or accept based on your opinion and your, and your judgment, yes. Because if somebody presented a registered certificate from the GPPA which indicate that he can do construction, well, you can say that it
says construction and
yes.
it added only.
Only, yes, construction.
Did it not qualify it?
Well,
did it not qualify it?
They did not qualify.
It did not qualify the construction?
No.
What did it, can you read that again?
Type of business construction only.
All right, thank you. Can I have the document? Please hand it over to you. We can proceed, Council.
Mr. Jai, do you identify, do you recognize the voucher that you have been given?
Yes.
What is that voucher about? What is the voucher number?
This is a payment to Ngolan Trading.
How much is it?
85,000.
Can I please see it? We applied to tender a payment voucher, PV number 200283, into evidence as an exhibit.
Now, Mr. Njai, as the finance person,
yes,
the earlier exhibit LGC/SN/KMC/004, your exhibit, the description in your exhibit, the head of the description is 8003815, and the description is landfill maintenance.
yes.
How does it relate to the maintenance of the bulldozers? Because my understanding of landfill is different from the maintenance of equipment.
Yeah, the dump site involve dressing of the dump site, maintaining of the equipment at the dump site. All is lump sum in one budget.
Yes.
Landfill maintenance.
Yeah. Now, if it is this not confusing and misleading?
Well, it's one cost center.
What?
It's one cost center, like the maintenance.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. I understand. That is why I referred to you to the head.
Yeah.
Because if this is a head,
yeah,
it should have had subheads in the voucher so that it can address the particular issue that you are dealing with.
You see, we never had bulldozer of our own, and these bulldozers come.
Regardless of the fact that
yes,
you have bulldozer, because
yes,
whether you are buying, whether it is yours,
yeah,
whether you are renting, you will have to dress the dump site anyway.
Yes.
So what my question is, you are not answering my question. My question is, this head, why didn't you have, as the finance person, for the purpose of clarity to understand your expenditure and to be able to do a proper reconciliation, why wouldn't you have done subheads under this head to deal with a specific issue at any point in time?
Yeah, you are right.
If you have this sub, you put in bracket whether it is A, B, or C, because when it is A, you will know that it is for the purposes of
You are
maintenance
very-
of
very
it.
right,
When
very
it is
right.
for the hiring, you know that it is for hiring of
Very right,
bulldozer.
very
So
right.
it will be very clear.
Yeah, it
it
should
will
have been
not be
break-
misleading.
Yeah, yeah, we could have been break into subhead, as you said. But we initially, we budgeted one line that is dressing of the back of the dump site, that's hiring of bulldozer.
Yes.
And then, and that amount,
So it's totally different,
Yeah,
because when you talk
yes,
to the layperson,
I agree, I agree.
and if somebody who is not a finance person
Will not
understand this,
Exactly.
because what he will understand is that this is landfill maintenance.
Yeah.
Landfill for a dump site is
Yeah.
a different connotation, and it means different
Yeah.
from maintenance in a bulldozer.
that's right, that's right,
Right?
that's right.
Thank you. Yes, Council, you may proceed.
We have applied.
The payment voucher dated 14th of January 2020 with PV number PV 200283 with the payee is Golan Construction and Trading Enterprise, and the description is being final payment for the cost of maintenance and transportation of bulldozer 8 and 9 from Dakar as per IPO number 0000561109. This, attached to this, is a bundle of documents in relation to the description in the said voucher. The voucher is admitted in evidence as an exhibit, and it is marked as LGC/SN/KMC/005.
As the Commission please.
Sorry, let me just ask one question. Now, the inconsistency and the possibility of fraud is further exhibited in this voucher, because if, based on your explanation, you have that subhead which is 800, etc., and you now have a subhead which is 700701, how can you explain that?
That one is the vehicle maintenance head specifically, 70.
70.
Yes.
So why didn't you use that? This one instead of using 800?
If you use that one, and then you will overspend the vehicle maintenance, and the landfill budget is there lying down, not used, because we are not hiring.
But you have, Mr. Njai, you have processes and procedures of hiring from your budget lines. If there is a deficit in one, and there is a resource in another one.
That's right.
Or you did not do your budgeting properly to ensure the dump site being your main issue in terms of taking most of your income.
Yeah.
So you were not correct in your estimation in your budget.
Well,
Is that correct?
we normally
No, answer the question, then you can explain.
estimates are estimates. Yes, we cannot get accurately 100% estimate
Thank
correctly.
you. Council, you may proceed. Can you please take this?
Are you very familiar with Mr. Kanyi's contracts as Director of Finance?
Mr. Kanye has been having different kind of contracts. Which of them?
All of them, all of them.
Yes.
During your time as Director of Finance or acting, you should be familiar with all of his contracts. Were you?
Well, I was not part of the Establishment Appointment Committee, but I know that he's been awarded contracts many times.
He had been paid on several occasions honorariums.
Yes.
I will show you some vouchers. We have PV 211304, where he was paid honorarium of $60,000, 60, being payment of honorarium for dump site consultant and manager for the first quarter as per memo attached. The second one is PV 201705. It says, being payment of honorarium to the debt recovery consultant for recovering debts of, it should be on behalf of council, amounting to $23,024,528. The amount paid to him as honorarium is $150,000. And you have another voucher, $10,000 is payment of honorarium, PV 212451. Please see whether you recognize these vouchers.
I can only talk of the 10,000, but the other ones, I'm not, the time it was my director who approved these payments.
Please come again. The others were?
The other vouchers are paid by my director, doctor.
Dr. Keita?
Yeah.
Okay, please.
Probably the only honorarium I paid is the...
Come again?
The only honorarium I paid here is the 10,000.
$10,000?
Yes.
Yeah, please tell us about $10,000. We will reserve the others for Dr. Keita. Yes?
Yes, this was in 2021, around December. Yes, when I was overseeing the finance unit, and
You
definitely
were overseeing the office in December?
Yes,
When did you start in 2021 overseeing the office?
July.
Which month did you start overseeing the office?
July,
in
July, I
July.
think July or August, something like that.
July.
Yes.
Please proceed.
So he was supporting the debt recovery.
Yes.
To be honest, I was overseeing the finance,
Yes.
and then he really helped in the recovery of debts.
See, Mr. Njai,
Yes.
I had told you, no one is helping anyone in this service. People get paid to do their job.
Right.
So if you think he was doing his job, you can
Right.
say he was doing his job.
Right.
No one is stopping you.
Yeah.
But using these words like helping, no one is helping anyone. People are paying taxes. People get paid. You and I get paid.
Yes.
So no one gets to help anyone.
You're right.
To offer
But
service.
the reason why I said support and help is because it was not his main function.
No.
But he did a good job at the rates unit and the debt recovery, which I can attest to. I wrote myself this request for honorarium, which I can only request and then recommend to the CEO for an honorarium of 10,000 for being supportive and doing very well at the rates recovery.
Which year was this?
This was in 2021.
On what basis was he supporting in that department? 2021, he had a contract as a consultant.
Yes.
So he was not supporting, he was paid for that.
Yes.
So you are misleading the commission.
He was a consultant at the time.
You are misleading the commission. That's what you are doing. Your choice of words is exactly misleading, very misleading.
Sorry then. I don't mean to mislead.
Yeah, so because the
I don't mean to do
2021,
that.
14 January 2021, Mr. Kanjura was given a contract. It says, as per the establishment and appointment committee's decision dated 7th of January 2021, I'm pleased to inform you that you have been offered an appointment on contract as debt consultant for a period of 1 year, January to December. And the allowances or the payments are outlined. Telephone allowance, $15,000. Double side allowance, $30,000. Consultancy fees, $35,000.
I quite agree with you
Yes.
that he was paid for doing his job.
Yes.
But honorarium are also paid to staffs as well who are paid salary based on their performances. But it has a rule on honorarium. It cannot be paid more than once a year. it will be
Mr.
at least.
Kanye was on contract as a consultant, was paid outrageous amounts of money. Yet still you decided that he had to be entitled to an honorarium? Mr. Jai? You can justify that to the commissioners. Let them hear you.
A contract is an employment.
Okay. Go ahead, lecture us about it.
No, I'm not lecturing. I'm saying a
Tell us
contract.
about it.
A contract is an employment.
Yes.
And then all employments are on contracts.
Yes. I'm here. We are still listening.
If it is a procurement process where a supplier, I will not pay a honorarium to a supplier. I will not pay a honorarium to a service provider.
The problem is we have people that do not know their job in our public service. If you are to sit here and try to justify this in a very, very, very unusual way, I mean, it's very scary. It's very scary. Instead of you just saying definitely it was wrong and we move on to other issues, you are trying to defend something that you cannot. Let me show you the contract, and you point out where it is stated that he is entitled to an honorarium. Let me show you. You read the contract, and you will tell us whether it is agreed that he will be paid an honorarium after he is paid handsomely. Is that not the contract that we are making reference to?
Well,
is that the contract we are making reference
this
to?
one.
No, I mean, that is Mr. Kanye's file. Is that the contract in relation to his debt recovery?
Yes.
Good. Can you please read the remuneration part?
Let me read the heading first.
Okay, please.
Appointment on contract.
Okay, please go on. You can read anything you want to read there.
Well, what I'm saying, appointment on contract.
Yes.
And not through the contract committee, but through the establishment appointment committee.
Yes.
Those people are the recruitment committee that recruits workers and employees.
Yes.
Well,
we are still listening.
The job description at the latter part could be differing.
Okay.
But what I can understand, once you are appointed through the establishment appointment committee, I can be wrong. I refer you as part of our establishment staffs.
Okay.
As an insider, as a worker, as a staff. So I think every staff, when you do very well in your work, sometimes honorarium is awarded.
Is that what you do with your other staffs? All your other staffs?
All the other staff, yes.
You have paid honorarium to all the other staffs. That work for KMC?
Not all the other staff, but when somebody outstands.
90%, 98%, 99% of people that work for KMC do not have honorarium paid to them. It's a fact. Because it's not normal.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that not the case?
Thank you. Yes.
Is that not the case?
Agree.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree.
Yes. Mr. Kani is not a staff.
It's not, okay.
It's a consultant going by the contract. Correct? Now read the remuneration.
The remuneration is there. You have telephone allowance of 15,000,
Yes.
dump site allowance of 30,000,
Yes.
consultancy fee of 35,000. Then the condition attached on the consulting service can be outlined as follows.
Yes.
Responsible for the management of the backward dump site.
Yes.
Develop and implement policies for the management of the dump site. Mobilize resources for the implementation of the policies.
Louder, please.
Solicit partnership to manage the backward dump site.
Yes.
You are strictly attached to the dump site as a consultant, and you are required to consult with the Director of Services on the issue of regarding the management of the dump site.
Yes.
You shall be allocated a pool vehicle to be used during official working hours.
Yes.
You are required to conform yourself with the internal regulation of the council.
Is there anywhere that it says that he has to be given an honorarium?
But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala carried out his plan. Dear brothers and sisters, I bring it to Gaza, and I bring it to Palestine right now. And I want to be very clear and very explicit. Two things. When you see Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israelis the Israeli occupation forces and their defense ministers speak with such pride, speak with such confidence and arrogance, think that they can exact all sorts of punishment on the believers with no consequences, using the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to try to mock the people of Gaza and mock the rest of us by extension, know that their end is near. Know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us a sign that this is the beginning of the end for them. That when you reach that point where you start to think that you've become immune and that you can mock the believers with their scripture and that you can quote your own twisted scriptures and turn the believers into less than animals and think that you can descend your pamphlets of ayat of Quran and mock the believers, know that Allah subhanahu